Hello friends, welcome to tonight's live. I am going to wait here for a second for this to click on over. I see Terry here already. Hey Terry. Welcome to tonight's live. I look like a mess. Here we go. Hey friends. Welcome. Hi. Happy Tuesday evening. I'm coming to you real life here as a total mess, but that's okay. Things have been kind of crazy around here. We've got our floor is all officially installed, but we don't have appliances still. And I don't even know what to say about that. So, it's been a fun day. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that here in a second. But hello, I see you guys all coming in here. Hey everyone. Thanks, Kay. Yeah. It's a story. Oh, it's a story. We'll get into it. I will tell you the appliance drama. Oh my gosh, I've had enough of it. Thank you. I love the polka dot walls. They've turned out so well. So polka dot walls is a win. I agree with that. It makes me happy. So it does. It makes me happy here. Oh my gosh, 66 days. Yeah. Being without a kitchen is like the worst thing. It's the worst thing. And that is a lot of days to go through that. That's crazy. I feel for you. I'm glad you're with a kitchen now. So today we're going to be working on story number 9 and 10. Yes. And I have some really fun things planned. I've actually been working on these two. I figured these ones out last night after our live ended, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to put them together. And then today I've been working on my layouts for tomorrow, and I'm also like, do you guys ever get like that where you just start to, like, the ideas just start rolling and you're like, oh my gosh, I could do this awesome thing and I could do this awesome thing, and all I want to do is sit in my room and make things, and that's all I want to do, but I have to go back to real life, so yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys some of the ideas I've got for the next couple of layouts here. So story number 9 is going to be about scary movies or spooky movies. And then story 10 is answering the question, would you rather be a witch, a vampire, or there was something else? A witch, a vampire, or it wasn't a werewolf, but it was another Halloween character. And obviously, if you guys know me and all my witch hats, obviously I would rather be a witch. So that's going to be the second layout for today. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get you guys flipped over so you don't have to look at all of this anymore. And let's go down to the desk here. So I'm just going to flip you guys over. It's going to be a little wobbly here for a minute, and then we'll be good to go. And I'm also going to remember to hit that record button this time. I did hit record yesterday. I just almost forgot. That could have been catastrophic. Okay, so we'll flip you guys. Here's my desk. Woot. Okay. And then get you in there. So let's make sure. This helps me judge like when I'm off screen, although I still feel like for whatever reason, that's better. Otherwise, I'm like halfway across the table, reaching. Okay, so there we go. Record button. After I just said that, and let me plug you in too, so we are not going to die. Okay. And we're recording. Okay, we're good. Okay, so here we go. How's everybody's day going? Oh, your kitchen flooded. Oh, yeah. Our basement flooded in our old house, and that's like that is such an annoying thing. I can't even imagine not having a sink. Yeah. Look at how resilient you are. You made it. 66 days with no kitchen and no sink. That's insane. My hat is off to you. Okay, so here we go. So what we're going to do today, Yesterday when we were working on this album, hey Yessie and Robin, hello everybody, welcome. So the end of yesterday was this page right here, which is a full page journaling outside of the page protector and then a little pocket with photos. So I'm working on the back side of a full page canvas, we'll call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a pocket that's going to hold some different pieces of my story. So the pieces are, I've got 2 of these tags. These are from a really old Ellie Studio Halloween tag set that they did, and I've just been carrying them around for a while. So I added my journaling, my story to the back of these tags. That's where my story is. For my photos, I printed all of my photos. I have 15 different movies that we are hoping to watch this season. Some we already have and some we haven't yet. So I have a bunch of tiny itty bitty little movies here. And those are going to go into film strips. So I cut out some film strips and I will show you guys that in a second. I've also got this tag that's a number 9 that I thought would be kind of cool to add in with the rest of the tags for my number. Or I've got this one which could be a 6 or a 9, so there's that option. And then a couple of different background patterns that I'm thinking about. I'm also planning to use acetate or transparency as my pocket front and then add some other stuff on here. So I'm just going to get all this stuff out. And Crystal, yes, I did get my floors finished. So the floors are finished. Today we were supposed to also get our appliances, and we did not get those. So, but the floors are finished. They look beautiful. I have to essentially scrub all of my walls because they're all dusty. So I worked on my living room today, just kind of getting the walls cleaned after they left, vacuuming up the floors. I've got like the protective pads coming hopefully tonight. I think they're supposed to be here. Is there a protective thing on here? I wonder. Yep, there is. Okay. So those are coming, and then we can start to move our furniture back. I do need to go shopping and find some rugs, which, you know, I feel like I'm very decision fatigued. I feel very, very decision fatigued right now, and that is not fun. So like all of these things keep popping up and I have to make a decision and I'm just like, I don't know. I just really don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side. Let's bring over the photos and let's work on the photos first. And then we'll do the rest of this. So appliances. Let me tell you the appliances story. Actually, before I tell you that story, let me tell you about these. So, what I'm planning to do for my movies this year, every year I kind of do something a little bit different with cut files and photos of movies. Last year I did the movie, the viewfinder, and then put all of the movies inside of that and decorated it. This time I wanted to try out a film strip. So what I did is I looked online for a free PNG file, which is a lot of times what I do when I am in need of some random kind of cut file. So I found this one that is long and skinny and it has 5 holes. And I thought that that would be a really good option. So I printed it, or I downloaded it, I cut it out, and I put it down to, it's like 1.25 wide by about 6.5 tall, because this is going to go inside of a pocket. So I didn't want it to go all the way to the top. I wanted there to be some room for a title. When I did that, it made these inside pieces super thin and skinny. So like backing this on here and just having that be that, which actually these are a little bit larger. Well, that's okay. The holes are a little larger. Whoops. Darn it, I measured it off of this, thinking that that would be the correct measurement, but whatever. Anyways, so I thought that, you know, just backing it on there it would be too flimsy. So what I did is I created my cut file, and then I released the compound path and removed out all of these squares. So then I had a section that is blank. So what I'll do is sandwich my photo in between the two files, essentially. And then it will have a finished back, and I won't have to worry about things tearing over time. So I'm going to poke out the rest of these little pieces that didn't come off on my sticky mat. And then we're going to get to backing here, which hopefully shouldn't take me too long since everything's just a square. So appliances, let me tell you this story. So if you didn't know, we moved into this house about six or 7 weeks ago. And when we purchased this house, at the time, the appliances that the previous owners had were not part of the sale, or at least the listing when they were selling it. So when we made our offer, we wrote the appliances into our offer. Like, we want you to leave us appliances. I don't know why. Like, where are you going that you have to take all of your appliances with you? It's very unusual. So we wrote them in, and the people were like, you can have all of them except we want our oven, which is fine because the oven was brand new, I think, and fancy. It's like a really nice oven. And everything else was basically as old as the house, so like 16 years old. So not super nice. So we're like, fine, you can take your oven. So they take their oven, and during the inspection, we find out that the dishwasher doesn't even work. And we're like, okay, like that's dumb, but okay, whatever. We'll replace the dishwasher. Ultimately, we would like to replace all of it anyway and get something that's not 16 years old and that is stainless steel instead of like the white stuff. So we were like, whatever, we'll live with it. So then we move in. The dishwasher doesn't work. So we knew that going in that it didn't work. Right before we moved in, they asked us if we wanted to make an offer on their oven. And by this time, it had already been like a really stressful sale or purchase. This purchase of this house was really, really stressful. So we said no. Like, no, you said you wanted your oven, so you can just take it. Or you can leave it for us, which they didn't do. They took it. So they took their oven. So we have no oven, a broken dishwasher, and then our fridge, which we never opened to look inside of the fridge and see what it looked like. The inside of the fridge, all of the shelves and the drawers were broken. So the fridge, while yes, it kept things cold, also was broken. So we're like, whatever, fine. We're ordering. We're going to order appliances. It'll be fine. We'll have all brand new stuff. It'll be great. So we put in our order. The delivery date was set for 9/26, so September 26th or something like that. Middle of September, towards the end of September. And the day before, we got our notice of, your time is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. that they'll be there, blah, blah, blah. We need you to unplug everything. We need you to, all this stuff. Your fridge needs to be cooled off, or like whatever. So, which was also not a terribly big deal because we had an extra fridge in the garage that we were just, it's eventually just going to be a beer fridge. Like, that's where we're going to put our beer. So, and it's fine. And that one is not broken on the inside, so that's good. So we moved all our food out to the garage, unplugged everything, moved the fridge into the foyer because I needed to paint behind it, and then waited the next day for 4 hours while they didn't show up. And in the meantime, it's like, I have to take a kid here, so Aaron has to be there, and then Aaron has a meeting, so I have to rush home, and it was like just so much chaos. But we're getting our appliances. And then they never showed up. So we called them and asked what the heck. And they said, oh, well, your appliances arrived at our loading facility late. So they didn't make it onto the delivery truck. To which our response is, okay, so why did we not get a phone call to tell us that while we sat around our house for 4 hours today? And they, of course, did not have any explanation for that. So we're like, okay, well, when can you deliver our appliances that are now at your facility? And they said, in 3 weeks. So, of course, we were not happy. So that's 6 weeks out from when we moved in with no appliances. But whatever, there's nothing we could do about it. So it is what it is. So our delivery date was then rescheduled to today. In the meantime, we decided to get our floors redone, which we needed to do because we have subfloor issues in the house. Another surprise that we didn't really know about before moving in. But, you know, it's okay. We wanted to replace them anyway. So it was just one of those things that it's going to be happening sooner than we thought, but that's okay. We want this anyway. So we scheduled our floors to be done, and the dates that worked were yesterday and then today. So the day before delivery and the day after delivery. So we're like, okay, no big deal. We'll do the kitchen floors first. So when they get here, they don't have to like deal with construction. Like it'll just be done and they can slip them in, turn them on, and that'll be that. So they get here today and they're like, yeah, we refuse to install these because we're not going to be liable for scratching your floors. And we're like, what? like you're here. We've been waiting for you for 6 weeks. You have our appliances in your truck. By the way, do you have our fridge in your truck? Because I'm not seeing that. And they're like, oh no, there's no fridge on this order. And we're like, what are you talking about? We paid for a fridge. So that was great. So they had our oven and our dishwasher and our like range hood, but not our fridge. So, so they're like, yeah, we refuse to install them. And part of the problem is that our current dishwasher is still like plugged in and in its spot, even though, you know, it's broken, but still there. And they didn't want to remove it, even though we paid them to remove it, because they were afraid that removing it would scratch the floors and whatever. So that happened. So then I should probably just use scissors for these. So then they get on the phone with their customer service and they're like, okay, we'll leave the dishwasher here. We'll install your oven and then you take out the dishwasher and then we'll come back and we'll install the dishwasher and we'll find out what happened to your fridge and why that's not here. So we're like, okay, you know, fine, let's do that. Fine, whatever. You know, at this point, I literally had to tell them to leave my house because I was so mad at them. Like they came in and they're like, yeah, we can't do the dishwasher, blah, blah, blah. The floor, I don't want to scratch your floor, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I looked at the guy and I was like, I am so angry right now. I need you to just go outside because I'm just really upset. I need you to go outside and call my husband who's at work, please. Like, you know, like when your blood is just boiling and all you want to do is like verbally abuse people. I was like, please leave my house. So we get out there, they're like, here's our options. I say, okay, let's do that option. Whatever, we'll figure it out and take this stupid thing out. And then they open up the oven to bring that in. And the guy's like, ma'am, and calls me across the street. And I go over there and the oven is totally damaged on the side. Like the side's basically like dented off. Like it wasn't even flush at all. It was like off. And then the front parts of it were falling off. And I was just like, you know, Just take it all back. Don't leave anything here. Take everything with you and please leave. And we're going to figure out what we're going to do. So I was very upset. And then after that, we went to this, there's an appliance store here in our town. Well, it's not really in my town anymore, in my old town, the next town over. There's a Sears appliance store. So we went there to see like, okay, what can they do? Can they somehow get me appliances in not another month? Because that's most likely what would have happened, is we would have had to go through damage claims to get a new oven and then all that stuff. So I'm like, nope, let's just see what they can do. So we went there and the guy's, super awesome. And he's like, let me see what I have in my warehouse, what packages I can put together for you. And he found us not the same brand, because apparently the brand that we got is super bad about like quality checks and timeliness. So he's like, don't get, which is GE. So if you're looking to get appliances, apparently don't get GE. They're terrible. Right now, their service is terrible. So don't get GE. We're going to end up getting Whirlpool instead. And he's like, I have, this set in the back or in my warehouse. I can pull it out. We can make sure everything's good and I can get it delivered to you by Saturday. So I said, great, let me have my husband call Home Depot and cancel our order and get our money back. Let me make sure we can do that, and then we'll come and say yes. So that's been our whole day. So Aaron called, our order is canceled, and tomorrow we're going to go buy appliances from somewhere else who can get them to us in 4 days. Which now, I really wish I would have done that in the first place. I just didn't even think about them when we were moving. It's just so chaotic. You don't think about those things. But anyway, Home Depot, most terrible service I've ever had. So, oh my God. So yeah, it was very, very frustrating. But we have a solution. If we didn't have a solution, I was almost like, I almost need to cancel tonight because I just feel pissed. But, we have a solution. So now I feel like, okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. It's going to be okay. I'm going to go cut paper and that will make me feel better. So here we are. Bright side, the floor looks amazing. So there's that. We also were under the impression, we thought that we were going to get our carpet in our bedroom done today as well. So our bedroom and our master closet have the old gross carpet. It's like a white carpet that's been there for 16 years. So it's got pee stains from the people's dog that lived here and all kinds of stuff. So we're like, yeah, no, we are definitely changing that out. So we ordered it. We thought it was coming the same days as the wood floors. So, but it wasn't. So we had to call on that today too. They're hoping to get out here by Friday to do our floor, which will be good because right now we're living actually at my parents' house. So I just come over here at night to craft with you guys and then I go back to their house to sleep. Because our bed is technically right now in the hallway. So, yes. I definitely think moving sounds so much more glamorous when you're not doing it. When you're like, yeah, let's move. I mean, I'm glad we did it. It really was a good thing, but man, it's a whole ordeal. Don't recommend it if you don't really need to. At least not right now. So anyway, lots of drama, house drama. It's great. My mom did, so my mom has this guy who does her kitchen at her house, which her kitchen is amazing. She has this really fabulous, awesome custom kitchen. And she's getting one in her basement done by the same guy because I just want to figure out if there's a way these go. Maybe not. Anyway, so she's getting her kitchen done in her basement by this custom cabinet guy who gave her like amazing pricing when she built her house, and like he's really good. So she talked to him for us about potentially redoing our kitchen, and he is going to send over some quotes when we thought like there's a very, very good chance he'd be like, yeah, no way, I'm so busy, I can't possibly do that. So, or like, you know, I only do fancy custom kitchens, not like, you know, regular house kitchens. So that's really exciting that hopefully he'll give us a decent quote, and maybe we can get our kitchen done while we're at it and just be that. Most likely that won't happen until next year though, because I'm sure with today's market, he's super busy. But that is the next thing on our list to do, is to redo the cabinets in our kitchen. Okay. So for this, I am just gluing the two pieces together because I printed my photos too small. So I don't really need to back them on here. And that actually is going to make this kind of easier anyway than having to back them all the way. So that's cool. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I did grab the links for these pieces. I think there's a couple links that I put in our Patreon post today. So if you want to do this same idea, the film strip thing, if you've got a cutting machine, then I've got a link to the exact one that I used to make my cut files. So that is available. And the cool thing about this too is it now has this raised effect. So that's kind of nice on here. Yeah, so Millie, I don't know if you asked that recently, but yeah, we did end up going with it's technically a Sears store. So like, and I know Sears is a corporate thing, but it's called like Hometown Sears, and it's been in our town for forever. It's just like this really tiny shop. So it's kind of a mom and pop. Like the guy who owns it has owned it forever. His sales associate has worked there forever. We just didn't even think of them in the beginning, which was totally a mistake. But now I know if I ever need new appliances for anything, I'm going there. I'm not dealing with Home Depot for anything. And now I got to get a new bathroom vanity. Like, what's that called? I have to get a new bathroom vanity because when we got our floors installed, it actually raised our floor about a half an inch maybe, because they just did it right on top of our old floors. So, and that's part of the problem with getting the dishwasher out, is now the floor is a little bit higher. So we will have to figure out a solution to that, but a solution can be figured out. And the floor guys were here when the appliance guys were here, so they could have worked together to make it happen, but you know, it is what it is. So, anyway, it raised up the floor about a half an inch. So we had to take the mirror off of the wall, which was super glued on. So we have a hole in the wall that I have to patch, that's not a very big deal. But then I can get a new vanity light and a mirror, and I'm just going to get a new vanity as well. So I was looking at that today. I had a bunch pulled up that were from Home Depot before all this happened. And then this happened, and Aaron's like, do not get it from them. Like, they do not get our business, which is really funny. All right, so we are going to trim these a little bit shorter, and then I'm just going to stick these into the film strip. But let me see how much shorter these need to be. Maybe what I'll do is use this one as like a template, essentially, and just cut the rest the same. Like that fits there, but does it fit here as well? No, it's still slightly too big, so just another little tiny sliver. There we go. Oh, yeah. I'm generally a fairly easygoing person, right? Like I can withhold from being mean. when I feel, like when you feel really agitated. But yeah, this whole thing just is like, so I still kind of chuckle like that too, that I'm just like, get out of my house. I didn't say it like that, but please leave. Please go outside. I don't want to say anything I would regret. It's funny. All right, so I'm just going to use this as a template and trim these down just a tiny bit more, and then they're going to fit in here. And then all I have to do is glue them down, and then these will all be set. I'll tell you what all these movies are because they're so tiny, I'm sure you cannot tell what they are. So, movies. So these are spooky movies because that's generally what I like to watch, are spooky movies. That's my list for this year. And so I don't think I have any like true scary movie on here. But there are so many good ones that are not technically scary. So many good ones. So I've got the Addams Family original movie, which we've already watched that one. That one is watched. And I actually watched it with the kids, which, Jonah didn't really care for it. Like, he just kind of played with toys while Izzy and I watched it. And but Izzy surprisingly really liked it for being a live action movie. So we watched Addams Family already, and that was a hit. And then we also watched Addams Family Values, which is the one where Morticia and Gomez have a baby, and then they get the nanny, and the nanny is the Black Widow who like seduces Uncle Fester. It's like a whole thing. It's interesting because I don't know if I'd ever seen that one before. I probably have, but I certainly don't remember it. And it's interesting because it's Joan Cusack who plays the Black Widow lady. It's cool to see her in a movie. I haven't seen her in a movie in a while. And I know that one's old. Like, she's really young in that movie. But it's a good one. I liked it. I like the Addams Family. They're so, like, quirky. I like them. Almost there. So, we've got Addams Family Values. Then we've got Casper, which is this one I'm doing right now. Casper the Friendly Ghost, the live action, which we also watched that one as well. So we turned Freeform on one day and just kind of like binged some movies. So those ones are done, which maybe I should put them in here as like, oh, we finished that one and this one and this one. But other ones that are on our list to watch, we've got, oh, and we watched Frankenweenie too. So we've seen Frankenweenie. So, and we watched Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, see, we're not doing too bad. We got 5 movies down out of 15 that I want to watch. So some other ones, I have Monsters, Inc., which technically isn't a Halloween movie, but it is about monsters, and that kind of works. I've got Hotel Transylvania. Love Hotel Transylvania. I will say my favorite of the Hotel Transylvanias is number 3, when they go on the cruise. Because in particular, because of the scene with the werewolf family where they drop off all of their kids at the daycare and then they come out and they're just in like pure shock of being able to do whatever they want to do. And it's just the best scene. It's amazing. I love it. So we've got Hotel Transylvania. I've got Hocus Pocus, of course, which my kids watched without me. So I just need to like throw it on and watch it. And that one's still a little too tall. We'll just, that should be fine now. So that's on my list to watch. I've got The Goonies, which we grew up watching The Goonies at Halloween time. I love that movie. So we've got that one. The Scooby-Doo live action movies, which I love those as well. And then Halloween Town, which is the old movie from the Disney Channel. Pirates of the Caribbean. I haven't watched Pirates of the Caribbean in years. I love that movie. And I think it would be a really good one to bust out. Ghostbusters, Matilda, which I totally want to watch Matilda with Izzy. I think she would really like it. And, of course, the animated Addams Family. I didn't put the new animated Addams Family in here because I just didn't have room for it, and I need to find, I know you can rent it, so we'll rent it and watch it, but maybe I'll do like a little tip in or something about the new one later. So that's going to be my film strips, which I think look really cool. So now I need this spare paper again so I can add adhesive to the back of these and not get them everywhere. Yes, Etienne, yes. That Hotel Transylvania is hands down, I think, the best one. It's so good. What spooky movies have you guys watched? Anybody watched any movies so far this week? Carrie, I saw you're on here earlier. I saw you, right? Right. I know I did. Yes, I see you. What scary movie are you watching? Scary movies are you watching this week? Do you guys document the movies that you are watching? And if you do, how are you documenting yours this year? This would also be a really fun layout to create for December daily for those of you who watch Christmas movies, or whether they are like classic Christmas movies that you watch every year or Hallmark movies. I think this one would be really fun. And for that, you could take it, one step further and make your film strip cuts out of like red and green if you wanted to Christmas them up. Or you could even do it out of like a glitter type of cardstock. That would be really fun too. So even if you're not a Halloween movie buff, if you are a Christmas movie buff, this could be an idea that would work. Okay, so there's one film strip. Next. The next layout that we're going to do after this one is a no photo one. I don't know. So I'm documenting, these two stories today. Tomorrow, my plan is to do books. So like we've got movies today, we're doing books tomorrow, which my books list is going to be very small because I haven't even started. In fact, I need to remember to grab my book before I leave to go back to my mom's house or my parents' house today, because I would love to start reading my Practical Magic book maybe when I'm in bed. So let's hope for that. So I'm going to grab that book. So I have like two that I'd like to read, and I don't even know if I'll be able to read two. It might just be like a one book month. But we're gonna set the bar high and say two. That's very high for me. And we'll see. So we're gonna do books tomorrow, and my plan is to make a bookshelf, I'll tell you my plan, and then we'll see how it works out tomorrow when we get together. So I'm going to do a bookshelf and use like stamps and stickers and pretty much that as my base. So that'll be like a decorated page on the outside. It's too high. And then I want it to be an interactive bookcase, because I gotta have those interactive things, I guess. I just can't help myself. And you know how in like some movies, when you go to the bookcase and you pull on like a specific book or a couple of books, it's like a fake out for opening the bookcase and revealing what's behind it. That's what I'm going to attempt to do in a paper way. So we're going to try to make a secret bookcase that opens up. And of course it won't be secret, but it'll appear to be a secret bookshelf that opens up to reveal the stories behind, which it's not like a wild story or anything, but So that's what I'm thinking for tomorrow. I've been working on that one today. I just need to take a picture of the books that I want to read, the two books, and then that one is good to go. And then the other one I want to do is about booing, which is funny because we haven't even booed anybody yet. Like my plan was to boo people on Sunday, this past Sunday, and it just didn't work. I didn't get home in time. So I'm going to put together some stuff maybe tonight. We'll see. Possibly tonight. And then tomorrow, go and drop it off at people's houses and boo them. Tomorrow, take some pictures of that. And I want to do, because to me, like booing somebody is almost like sending happy mail, where it's like a surprise and it's happy and it's kind of mail, but it's not mail. So for whatever reason, it works in my brain that it's like mail. So I want to make a pocket that looks like a mailbox, and inside of the pocket to have like envelopes, you know, or like letters that have been sent essentially, and have those hold the photos. And I'd love to, like, if I get text from people who know that it's from us, you know, I want to like print a photo of their text and then stick that in the envelope and then have those kind of like busting out of the mailbox. So I want to make a spooky mailbox, essentially. So I think that will be really fun. And then, so I'm working on that one, getting all the pieces for it figured out. And then the story after that is going to be the most haunting thing, you know. So basically I want to do a ghost encounter story that I have, and then one that my husband has as well, which are two different. They're two different interactions. So I want him to include his story, and then I will include mine. And I'm playing with the idea of doing, I don't know if you guys saw Josie from Josie Posey. She did like the Enter If You Dare intro page where it opens up and it's like doors on the outside and it opens up and then there's stuff on the inside. So I'm like, what? I really loved that. So I'm thinking about doing that and scrap lifting her. And then having it be like some kind of, I want to try to figure out how can I make a haunted looking door that has like enter if you dare or caution, that you can open it up and then there can be like the ghost stories and possibly some creepy photos of Aaron and I, because apparently I like creepy photos. I don't know. It's a thing, I guess. So anyway, that's kind of like ideas I'm toying with, you know? Things I'm trying to mull around in my brain and figure out if that is what I want it to be. Okay, so what I need to do now is figure out, and maybe what I want to do is, so I've got this gold star transparency, and this is going to be the pocket. So when all of these pieces are inside of the pocket, when they're all inside of the pocket, let's just pretend that's a pocket. And you put this over, it's going to have this starred effect here on this. And I was thinking about, I thought about putting this little guy in here as like a cute little extra. Like he has no purpose except to be cute. And maybe putting my 9 on there as well, so you can pull the things out. But I printed out a title piece to add at the top that just says Spooky Movies. So this is essentially my template of putting the pieces back in, but they actually, you know, are only that big because the page is only this big. So I was going to do Spooky Movies. So I have the star background, which is kind of busy, but I also kind of like the fact that it's busy versus, you know, the plain. Could also do plain, but add a strip of this to the edge, you know? I don't know. Remember that decision fatigue I was talking about? Yeah. This is kind of like a creamy white, and this is star. Yeah, see, make it into a gate. That's a good idea. I could make it into a gate. And there are lots of gate cut files that could be a lot easier to do. And then maybe what I could do, Yessie, and here we are planning out future layouts, but still, this helps. It helps me to like bounce ideas off. So if I had it as a gate that opened, it said like caution or enter if you dare, blah, 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 right? And it opened. And then in the back to have like a typed out story with maybe like a slit or something, maybe. Or, I mean, it really doesn't have to have a photo. It doesn't have to have a photo. I got to think about that. I like the idea of having photos just because it helps to like give your eye a break from so many words, but it doesn't have to. I could just decorate it, you know, have it be spooky. Okay. All right, do you guys think I should put it on the white? So essentially, these are the words, and they're really small. So maybe I might even consider just using, oh, what do I want to call it? It's got a name. Alphabet stickers instead, right? I just kind of liked the font. But these are pretty small. So maybe we can use, or I have stamps. I could also use stamps. Stamp out my title. But let me see what I've got for some alpha. Do I have any of these that say like spooky? I do, but you're so small. Too small. All too small. Okay. I'm thinking that does this have anything about movies? No. Nope, nope, and nope. Okay, so one more spot. Let me get out. This is all my stuff for tomorrow. But I have these that could work. They're also kind of small. Maybe I need to like cut this down. So if I were to stamp on here, then it's definitely better to use a blank, like a more blank background. I could forego the star and then do the typical like washi next to it. Oh, Eric, I love that. With the, I love that. A Christmas Village is amazing. Yes. I have lights to play with this year too that are December. Or not December, October. To use as a like, kind of like a trial run, I suppose, for the future, for December maybe. Okay, so I could do like a whole bunch of washi on the side here. That could be fun. Like layer up some washi on the side, have this be blank, stamp out some title. Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, there's a ew. Ew. Hold on, there's a dead fly on my desk. Ew, get off of here. Gross. Okay. You gotta get off. There we go. We had a bunch of flies in our house from the flooring, from the, just like the doors being open all the time. So many flies. Oh, they're the worst. Okay. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 inches. I'm going to use this one because I like the fact that it's a little bit creamier. Like it's not a true white. It's got a little bit of like taupe color to it. Okay, so we'll cut that down, and then the back side was this like Halloween cable net, which I also really like. It's just super busy. So a lot of times I find I gravitate towards simpler papers, like what do I want to say, like brain fart, like a single color, right? Or something that's lightly patterned. That's what I typically end up using. And then I have a bunch of the like the papers that are a lot wilder, or that have icons on them. And by icons, I mean like this. you know, where there's calendars on it. Like I'm probably never going to use this portion of the paper. I will use this portion of the paper because it's just a different, it's a more classic pattern. I think it's easier to use. Okay, so the movie strips are going to go in here. This is going to be punched on this side. So let's punch it. That way we know how far over we've got to go. Probably I'm also going to need to get my chamois wet. I wasn't expecting to stamp. Actually, that's a good thing because I think I want to try something with the next layout that I've never done before, and I figured it would be good to do with you guys because you can offer me advice on how to do it. Although I might need to like test it first. Okay, so go in. Oh, there's another piece. Come on now. Out. Seriously? Out. Why are you sticky in here? That's weird. It's like one that's stuck to my blade portion. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's strange. Okay, so let's do this again. Okay. All right, there we go. So one of the things I'm currently brainstorming now as well that has nothing to do with October. The product play class this year, the way it worked for contributors, which I'll be contributing to product play this year, and one of the things they did to switch it up is they have a lot more people participating or a lot more people contributing to it using both the December Daily team and the year-round creative team. And so what they did is they assigned us a specific product that they want us to show how to use in like to create a layout or to show different ideas or ways to use that specific product. And mine, I am working on brainstorming what to do because I had an idea, like a really fun idea that I loved, and everybody has been talking about doing my idea. So I'm like, shoot, I can't, like I could do that. I could, it would probably be fine. But at the same time, like, oh man, darn. Everyone has the same idea. It's a bummer. So now I'm brainstorming different ideas for that as well. Has anybody in the community, do you know of, has anybody announced what their product is that they're working with? Because if they have, I can tell you, but I don't know if anybody has. So tell me, do you know? Has anybody done it? Has anybody made it known? Okay, spooky movies. So I could do this. I'm planning to use this for my title for day 11. Oh, it has? Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Thank you, Jennifer. So yes, all right. It's been announced who's been doing what. Did they have it on like a blog about it? Because that would be pretty cool. Because I'm curious to know what everybody's been doing. Playing it all out on paper. That's awesome. Yeah, where can we find that? I only know the main team and then just a couple people on the December Daily team who told me what they're doing. And that's it. Morgan Beale said she's using the box. Oh, okay. Yeah, albums. Okay, so if Morgan said it, then I can tell you guys. So my product is the fabric adhesive stockings. And I wanted to do my idea that I was like, I had the idea as soon as I saw the stocking product, and it's actually why I even picked it, was to do an interactive fireplace. That I wanted to do a fireplace where the stockings were hanging and then make it somehow interactive where you could pull out the story, you could pair it with a photo or something like that. Well, apparently everybody's doing that. like I know Morgan did an unboxing and she talked about how she's going to do that. I know people were asking about it for something else, and I was like, dang it, like that's such a bummer. Meaning, like, you know, I just don't know at this point, you know, if I want to do what everybody's going to do. So I don't know. The way I was going to do it is without, it would be without a silhouette. So there'd be no cutting. It would just be like instructions on pieces to cut, you know? If ugly sweaters are your thing. Oh, Etienne. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to think about that. Etienne. So yeah, I've got a fireplace idea, which I'm still toying with. I told Kelly that's what I was going to do. So if I change it, I have to tell her I changed. How big do I want this to go? And then let's do 3.5. 3.5. So that was my initial idea. And then I was trying to think about, like, well, how can I make this, like, you know, different so that it's not the same as everything else. Did I say 3.5? I said 3.5, right? Yeah, I did. So then I thought, like, okay, what if, and I have no idea how I could make this happen, but I'm willing to try. Like, what if you took a picture of your fireplace, like your actual fireplace, and that was like the main photo. And then on the photo, you have, like, let's say it's a photo of a fireplace with no stockings on it. And then you have a fireplace picture with one stocking on it. So it's like however many people or however many stockings you put up. For us, it would be 4. So it would be like a picture with all 4, a picture with 3, a picture with 2, a picture with 1, and 1 with 0. So it's a lot of pictures. That's a lot of pictures. But my idea was, like, what if you made the top picture blank, like no real photoed stockings, and then you put on the fabric one, and like maybe you had it cut. So maybe your photos, like mine's gonna be 6x8. So like maybe it's cut at, you know, like 1 1/4 or 1.5 inches, and there is a stocking there. So you take the stocking and you move it to the side, and then you can see like the real photo stocking, and then you can tell the story. And then when you do the next one, you can see the 2, but it's the story for the second one. And then you could do the third, and it would be 3 stockings. So I'm like, that could be interesting and totally different. But I don't know. That seems, it'd be a lot of photo paper to do something like that. And I don't know if people would. So I don't know. I gotta think about it. What am I gonna do, you know? All right, so we've got this kind of figured out here. This is, I think, what I'm gonna go with. So instead of doing this, because it blends in too much, maybe if I didn't have the ghost, I could. And maybe that still looks kind of cool. So I could do it with no ghost and the 9, or I could do it with the black and white 9. And the thing that's cool about the ghost behind it is it breaks up the color, because that's a lot of black and white. So, you know, it's either ghost with the 9 or tag with no ghost. Now, what I want to do next, this I'm going to stitch on, but I'm going to wait and start working on the next one because I'm going to stitch on that one too. So what I can do is work on the stamping. Yeah, I think I'm going to stamp and not do that. So let's do, what if, I have an idea. Oh, I got to move stuff real quick to get it out of the way. So what if I got these? Or maybe these. Okay. So what if I had bigger stamps? Okay. So these are really tall. Are these taller than these? I wonder. Or are they the same? Oh, they're about the same. Okay, so like let's just pretend here. We said like these won't go down any further than that though. What if SP OK and Y. Okay. So what if we did like spooky big and then stamped out really small movies and made like a little, somehow like a banner that went on here? I kind of like that idea because then it takes up more of that space, you know? Or maybe these are too big. Oh, I don't know. The die cut ones are for sure too small. That also provides me like no white space in between. So what if, like, are these any different at all? You guys like that? All right. Yeah, because these are the same height. So these ones right here that I have in this packet are from the Storytelling Basics collection. This is Allie's handwriting. These ones are from Close to My Heart. They are the brushed alpha, which have a little bit of, like they're not perfect, which is nice when you're doing layouts like this one because it makes it spookier when they're not perfect. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's okay if the film strips go a little bit above, I think. It'll be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the O's need to go in the middle. And I think I will just grab, I don't know where my black is, but I do have this black. So since we're using Close to My Heart stamps, why not use the ink too? So this is the archival black, which I think you have to let slightly dry a little bit. And that's fine because I'm not going to stitch on this quite yet. Anyway, I haven't used this in a long time. Okay, so let's gauge here. I think you'll be fine right here. If my head's in the way, I apologize. I did a whole layout, like a whole stamped quote layout with this one last year that I just love. I think it was in a traveler's notebook. It's one of my faves. Oh, I need to go get this wet. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get this wet in the bathroom next door so that I can clean my stamps and not ruin them. Okay, so we've got that. Okay. All right, so there we go. Now we can clean it and put it back where we got it from. Yay. I haven't stamped in a long time like this. I'm actually really looking forward to doing the bookcases tomorrow because it's going to be a lot of stamping. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to do my best to get all those Heba vibes going. She's the best stamper. I love her stuff. She's always the one who talks me into buying stamps. I don't stamp that often that I need a ton of stamp sets. And she's the one that I'm always like, oh, but she used it that one way and it was amazing. I definitely need it. I tell you what though, when it comes to stamps, I never, ever, ever, ever regret getting alphabet stamps. alphabets and numbers are the stamps I use over and over and over again. Okay, let's get on there the right way. So if you're ever wondering, like, what stamp should I buy? I don't use a lot of stamps. Alphabets. Because you can make whatever you want to make for titles and all that stuff. Spooky. Whoop. Okay. And Y. No, come back up here. Stop it. Okay. Yeah, she's very good at selling stamps. Yes. Okay, so spooky. Clean, clean, clean. And then we'll do movies in a smaller text. And I think I'm going to do it in a, like a cleaner font, maybe a typewriter font. I like the typewriter font. So I'll do that because I don't want to do a brush stamp on top of a brush stamp, just to give it some variety. Now, what I do need to decide is if I want to stamp the next word in orange, maybe. You know, we can try it. And worst case, we don't like it, and we'll just stamp it in black. That's kind of the beauty of making it into, what? Do these have that too? What? I didn't know that. I didn't know. So I have these in my, like, standing upright. I didn't know that they had a label on the outside of them that I could see when they're standing up. My mind is just blown right now. Amazing. Okay, so movies. It's the little things. Okay, so I'm gonna do spooky movies. Yeah, I like this little tiny one at the top. Okay, this one is from the Laura Wanzik, Ali Edwards collab, and it's just got a bunch of different types of small text, which is awesome because then you don't have to buy like a million different stamp sets to get those the little text, you know? Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, I've got this. Let me see what I've got for, like, not that. Although, maybe. You are glitter. That's a no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No. What is this? No. Maybe that. That could be cool too. If I did black. Maybe I'll do one of each. Do a black and an orange to figure out what I like. And no. Seeing if I've got anything that's kind of that same color of white, but not really. Maybe not. All right, so what's on the back? Oh yeah, it's just that. So, yeah, because I don't really want to do it the same color as the background paper, because that'll blend in. So, no to that. But, all right, let's see what happens here. I kind of like this orange, and I kind of like this, but I would have to stamp black on there. So maybe, let's just pull that back over and see what happens. Orange makes it look easy. Easy. Yeah, she does make it look easy, doesn't she, Brenda? It's like, to me, I think the biggest thing with her is she's really, really good at using the like character type stamps, like ones that have like cats and faces and like the things that are not necessarily words. I can use words. I find ways to do that, but the character or like the like little characters and stuff, you know, I'm not as good at that as her for sure. She's amazing with all that. So let's see what happens if we go with the orange on white. We'll do orange on orange, because that could still work. And orange on orange. We'll just make some, we're going to make a lot of movie titles here. Oh, and then we'll do black. So then we got black, probably not on white, but maybe on orange, and black on polka dot. Okay. So there's that. M-O. I have a little circle one of these somewhere that I prefer when working with little tiny alphabet stamps. I don't know where it is. I haven't found it yet. Oh. It's entirely possible that it's with my travel stuff. Because before I moved, I was working on that travel album from North Carolina, so it could be there. Okay. M-O-V. There you are. B. B. V. So I did hear from Janet too, who is over on Paper Talk, that I think my episode is coming out tomorrow. So prepare yourself for all of the Halloween talk, all of the December daily talk, which I'm really excited about. Should be fun. I feel like I want to go back and listen to it myself. I will say for when it comes to creating YouTube videos and stuff, I feel like I've gotten so used to hearing my voice that it's not. I used to hate it so much. I think that's very common for people to not super enjoy hearing themselves talk. But yeah, I used to just hate my voice, and now I'm so used to it that a couple years ago I would have been like, yeah, I don't really want to listen to myself. I don't want to listen to an episode that I was on. No thanks. Whereas now I feel like, yeah, no big deal. It's very good for the voice self-esteem, that's for sure. Okay, M-O-V-I-E. We're almost there. Okay. I kind of like this orange color is really appealing to me right now. Day 5 done. Yay! Way to go. Way to go, Kay. Is anybody else working on stuff right now? I know, Etienne, you posted that you were going to work on stuff. Are you working on stuff, or are you sitting on the couch? Oh, I should have started with orange. Crap. Dang it. Okay, let's see if I can get this black off. No. So that will definitely affect the color. Then it won't match. Anyway, anybody else working on stuff? And if you're doing October Daily, what day are you up to in your October Daily? Okay, let's see if how badly. Well, it did affect it. Oh well. That's okay. Okay. It got better over time. All right, so we got movies. Here. Good, good, and good. I'm going to put these inks away so we don't accidentally put a hand in it or something. And then make sure that label's up at the top now that I know that exists. And there we go. So spooky movies. So let's trim these out. And my thought was to make them into banners and stuff. Erica, you're on day 9? Nice. We're working on the same day right now. Love it. What is your story for day 9? And then Etienne, you almost sat on the couch, but felt like you should do something. I love it. Dragged myself upstairs to the coffee table. So what are you working on? What story are you up to right now, Etienne? I feel like I just saw one from you. What was it of? What was your most recent one that you shared? Also, because I don't remember. I do, but I don't. My brain is a fog. Okay, so we got that one, It's garbage. I got days 8 and 9 done. Not my favorite pages, but keep moving. Yeah, I understand that. I feel like, you know, we all have our favorites and our not favorites. You know, it doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just maybe not our favorites. I feel like the ones I did yesterday probably weren't really my favorite, but that's okay. They're done. They're still good. They're still stories. Ultimately, the stories, I'm happy to have the stories documented, even if like the layout itself isn't the most groundbreaking, you know, layout I've ever made. It's okay. But it is what it is. We all have those feelings. And then you just keep going. The funny thing is, I feel like, and maybe this happens to all of you too, that you'll give yourself a hard time on something, right? Like you'll not like something very much, and then years later go back, sometimes even like months later go back and say like, oh wow, actually I kind of like that. That was a good layout. What was I talking about? Why did I think that was bad? That happens to me often. Often enough that it feels like it makes me not as like mad when things don't work out super well, because it's like, oh, I'll probably like this soon, so it's okay. Yeah. The fall festival you went to this past weekend. Awesome. Halloween decorations for day 8 and Muppets. That's the one I remember, was Muppets. Luli, you're working on one and have through day 6 or 7. Awesome. Look at you guys. You're all doing great. I love it. And then, Etienne, what did you say? Day 6 was vampires and how I think they're sexy. Day 7 was TV shows I'm watching. Vampires are sexy. They are. I agree with you. I watched a couple years ago I watched Vampire Diaries, and I haven't finished it because it gets to a point where like some of the main characters aren't there anymore, and it just becomes, it's a lot. It's a very long series, so it just becomes a lot. But I mean, Damien all the way. Oh yeah, I'm a Damien girl. Yes. All right, so here's what I got. So see how it's like spooky movies, and I feel like this needs to be even thinner. I probably need my other trimmer because the one that like rolls isn't, it's really hard to get close cuts when you don't have a ton of paper you're working with. So this one will be better. And maybe I just cut off part of the eye, and who cares? I think I'm going to. Whoops, whatever. Okay, and then give me the back. Yes. So put this one in there. And then this one, this specific trimmer, this is a tonic trimmer, has really clean cuts, and I like that about it. Like they don't leave any like fuzzy paper residue behind, which my other one totally does. Okay, so you got spooky movies, or could do this version. Let's do the same thing. I'm going to trim this first, and then we'll make it into a flag. I'm kind of toying between these two. I think these are my favorite of the color combos. Yeah, okay, and then this, go down here, and I'm just eyeballing this because it's, you know, I can't gauge it by anything, so I think that's probably fine. It's straight enough. Straight enough. All right, let's cut the flag part into this. So we'll go like there. So to do this, all I'm doing is making a tiny cut in the middle of the edge, trying my best to eyeball it, see if it's the same, making a cut into the middle, and then I'm going from corner to the inside part, and then it makes my flags pretty even for the most part. It's not perfect, but again, we're working in a Halloween album, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Really, no matter what project you're working in, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so, or we've got spooky movies. So these are my two favorite, I think. More so than that one, more than that one, and more than that one. So let's put the scraps back in, which is a lot of times why I hold on to scraps. When I get to the end of the season and I'm putting all of my stuff away, I will toss out any scraps that are pretty small. Like those I'll probably just toss because I highly doubt I will use them next year. Like what, you know, especially if you're getting new collections and new papers, the likelihood that you'll use a tiny little piece of scrap is low. So I just toss it or recycle it, you know. Okay, that's all that garbage gone. Oops. Don't want to throw that away though. All right, so I'm going to plop this stuff back on here and help use that to make a decision. And then we will move on to the next. So these are going to go here. This is going to go here, here. Here, here. This one's going to go there. And I can also totally like angle these a little different so that they don't take up too much of that title, you know? Like that, I suppose. That. Right. The acetate pocket. The potential number 9. All right. That's going to be the one. Winner, winner. Okay. I'm going to put that one back down in my ephemera pieces because it will totally work as ephemera for some other time. And then we'll do this. Oh, Stefan, huh? He is pretty cute too. He's like such a good boy. In real life, so the actor that plays Damien in real life is like a super obsessed cat person, which is really awesome if you also love cats. Which is just another, it's just another tick for me for the Damien line. That's so funny. They're both super cute. Working on day 8. Lynn, what is your day 8 story? Or story 8? What is your story 8? We're just in Washington, so I made my husband stop in Forks on our way to Seattle. Take a picture with Bella's truck. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, he's like, Etienne, he's like this really softy kind of guy in real life. So cute. And did you know that he was in another vampire show? I don't even know what it was called. I never watched it. But I thought it was funny that they've got him pegged as like true vampire material. A show that I've never watched that I probably should at some point is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I feel like I need to watch that show. Like, how can I be a real Halloween fan and not have seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer? But I have not. I don't know if it just wasn't like a thing in our family at the time. Like, why didn't we watch it when I was growing up? Maybe it was, I don't know. I feel like that was when I was a teenager. Yeah, that one's one I gotta watch. I don't know of any other, I'm trying to think of any other vampire shows to watch. Okay, so this one, all I have left to do is sew on the pocket and put on my number. So that's what I've got left here. Oh, and I could, wait. I don't think it needs any washi, right? I don't think it really needs any. Because if I've got all this going on, and this is a lot going on, then I don't know if it needs anything on the side. So like, you know, if it's like this, I could, like, what would it be like if I just, this is the same one I did yesterday. Oh, but that does look pretty. Well, shoot. I kind of like that. Or we could candy stripe it. Definitely like the black one better. Interesting. Okay, well, I do kind of like it. So I'm just gonna, yeah. Millie, I need you. I need you to just be like, do it for all the things. Do it for all things, yes. And yeah, where can I watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I have to. Favorite show of all time? What? Okay, where can I watch it? Tell me. Who has Buffy the Vampire Slayer on like streaming? What streaming service? Hulu? Oh, and I just got access to Hulu. My sister-in-law has Hulu and she gave me a login. Finish your binge of Vampire Diaries. Etienne, what season are you on for Vampire Diaries? Where are you? Okay, that looks super good. I love this. This is probably one of my favorite washi tapes, maybe ever. And it's from the Tim Holtz trim tapes, I think is what it's called. All right, so I'm going to worry about hole punching that later when I've got this stitched on. So the next layout I've got here that we'll put together, I don't think it's going to take as long, is, but we'll see. I've got grand ideas. So this one is all about the fact that I really, deep down in my soul, want to be a witch. So that's what this is going to be about. Okay, what are you guys saying? Have you seen True Blood? I watched like one episode of True Blood back in college, I think, maybe even high school, but I never watched it after that. So I haven't really. I've heard a lot of good things about it though, and you can still see it on HBO. I think you're right that it was HBO. Okay, so this is kind of fancy. So here's what we're doing. I have this pocket. This is a craft pocket from last year's Allie Edwards December Daily Collection. I want to say this came in the main kit, but it might have also come as part of the 3x8 stuff, potentially. Or it might have been its own. I just really like having lots of different textures when I am working in albums like this. So craft is a great texture, and I like this. So this is going to be the main event for this story today. Well, the not main event. This is going to hold the main event for the story today. In front of this, because this is going to go next to this like spooky movies thing right here, right? So like, let's pretend this is all put together. Yay. In between, I'm going to put this vellum piece that I'm going to trim down. So this came from Cocoa Daisy. Yes, Cocoa Daisy. I have to think about where did this come from? Cocoa Daisy is where this came from. So this is a really cool piece of vellum that has like a moon and bats and splatters and all these things. So we're going to trim this down to the page protector size, like so. And I'll probably keep that for now, unless I don't use it later, and then I'll toss it. But trimming that down, this is going to be hole punched. I should probably just do that. And then I'm going to put my title piece on top of the vellum, which I did cut out on my silhouette. If I knew where, oh wait, it's too tall. If I knew where my vinyl, I have like the sticky back vinyl that you can cut on a silhouette. If I knew where that was, which I don't know where I put it, then I would use that, but I didn't have it. So instead, I just cut my title out on white paper. So that's what we're gonna use that. So I have a template for my file. It says something wicked this way comes. You know, since we're working with a witchy layout. So let's hole punch you before adding anything on there. This is another freebie, like a free download that I found online that was for sign, and I just took it and altered it and made it into a title. But I do have a link to this one in our Patreon group. So you can find that there if you want this same font. I liked that it was a little bit thicker. I thought that was nice. Because a lot of times this quote is done like really thin, which is beautiful because it's kind of eerie to have a super thin text. But for a silhouette cut, that wasn't going to work. So what I'm going to do is put my template on here so I know where to position all of the letters, and then we're just going to glue them in. So maybe what I'll do is take a piece of washi tape and position this down like that. That way it won't move. Okay. I probably want to make sure it's straight though. Like, what if I get it on here and it's crooked? That would be really dumb on my part. So let's get you straight on a straight edge. And I think that's fine. Whatever, good enough for me. Okay. So here is my actual cuts. So all we're gonna do is just take some glue, tiny, tiny bits of glue. I'm gonna stick it in here. Come on. Let's use that. I don't want it to come all like gushing out. I just used this, did I not? Didn't I just use this for something else that I glued? Yeah, those. It's totally gonna like blow up in my hand. Sometimes I hate this. Okay, I do have a little like pokey thing. There we go. Okay, so there, that should fix that. Okay, so let's, and now you're coming out really fast. But I have this as a template, so hopefully it will keep the glue from going everywhere. Okay, let's just do that. Now, so this will take me a minute again. It's a lot of like precision, you know, with this kind of stuff. That's the hardest part about it. It's tedious and precise, but otherwise not like always the most genius. Okay, so that's that. Something. This isn't going to back up to a photo or anything. Like it's not, there's not going to be a photo on this side, so I don't have to worry about any adhesive sticking onto the photo. Because yeah, it's just piling out. But that's good. So if there's any adhesive like accidentally on there, it'll just stick to all of the other stuff. Okay. Whenever it's sticky everywhere, it does. You know, I tried using the, what's it called? I think what I need to do is put this in a fine line bottle, which I have, again, somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I have a fine line bottle. I think I need to put this inside of that, and that maybe that will resolve some of the issues with it. Because I tried the Scotch tacky glue, and I really don't like that. Because it dries instantaneously. So when you're working with cut files, sometimes you need a little bit of time to like grab your piece, let the glue sit there, and then stick your thing on. And I kept finding that the Scotch tacky glue was dry before I even had a chance to stick my stuff on it. So I don't know. I'm in the market for glue options. The thing I like about Tombow is that it gives me that little extra bit of time. I just need to like not press. Like, just get enough so that it's like wet on the end, and then I can stick it on top. Yeah. Okay. think what I might do here, so that we don't end up gluing my page, because since there's a little bit of excess there, it could totally stick this down onto that vellum. Let's save it from doing that. Okay. And yes. And then I'm just going to cut this off. Okay. Something. Okay. One. Let's do this big word next. Which is mostly in one piece. This did have some, like the text on it had some brush areas where it wasn't like totally solid. And because I shrunk it down to print it out, it made it almost kind of like roughed up instead of having blank space there. But I actually think that looks kind of cool for this title. That doesn't bother me really. Gives it a bit of a grungy look. Okay. So Wicked is all one word. Yay. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. I forgot these have holes in them. That was dumb. No. Okay, so that is that word. And then I just need to put the I piece. And then one more little bit. Something, oops. No. Stay. Wicked, and then this way comes. So let's move this down so I can do the same thing again. And cut this part off. This is a total cheat for doing like a titled cut file. Total cheat, but it works out great to use your negative piece as your template for making sure everything is spaced correctly. It works out nicely. Just gonna do this whole word and then we'll fill the whole word in. Hey, do any of you guys have close to you, available to you, somewhere near you, the list of prompts that I put out for Halloween? Because if you do, I have a question. I want you to look something up for me. Tell me if you've got that near you. Red top glue. Okay, so the prompt on there that says, would you rather be a witch, a vampire, what was the other thing? A witch, a vampire, or what? Because then I'm going to ask you all what you would be. A ghost. Yeah, you're right. A witch, a vampire, or a ghost. Yes, you're correct. So, all of you now, I would love to know your answer. What would you, if you had the choice, that you could only be either a vampire, a witch, or a ghost, what would you be, and why would you be that? Witch, says Lisa. Lisa, why would you be a witch? Other than, obviously, it's like the coolest thing ever to be a witch. But why would you be a witch? A witch. I can't stay up late. That's funny. I like that. That's kind of true. The other two are kind of late night, aren't they? I didn't think about that because vampires sleep during the day and then come out at night, and ghosts pretty much come out at night too. Unless they come out at the day. Who knows? Maybe they could. All right, so there's the rest of this title piece. A witch, but I feel a vampire could provide a lot more protection. Plus you live forever. So I could yes, I like that. You could scrapbook forever. Think about how many stories you'd have after centuries and centuries. And how many stories you would likely forget after centuries and centuries. So it totally makes sense that you would document them so that you could remember them when you forget. Okay, there we go. Something wicked this way comes. We've got, all right. So that's my title piece here. And that's all I'm doing to this, and I'm leaving it like that. We're just gonna set it off to dry. And then we're gonna work on the actual journaling part, which is gonna be wild. So, what, a witch so I can cast a spell? Yes, Robin, me too. I don't want to haunt people or places in vampire's blood. So true. That's so true. Yep. I feel that. Okay, so this I did at 7.25. Okay, so this right here is printable canvas paper. Actually, let me get my package so I can show you what it looks like. Oh, it looks like this. It is Vivid Vinyls. It's primed inkjet canvas sheet pack. So they are canvas. They are flexible, kind of like fabric. And they have the canvas, like darker type of feel. So what I did is I printed this journaling, which I used a combination of these labels, which were a free download. So again, I've got that linked up in the post. I used those and I just kind of like cut out the letters so I could create my own title, which says I'd rather be a witch. And then I added my journaling underneath that and printed it on the canvas paper. So super cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch this closed, which I just need to use my bone folder to make sure that it is folded nice and great. And then I am going to stitch it closed. So it'll make it that canvas feel on both sides of the paper. Otherwise, the back of this is kind of like a treated white, basically. So we're going to stitch it closed, and then this is going to become like a spell scroll, essentially. So I'm going to like roll it up, flatten it out, add some stuff to it, which I actually might want to do that first. And I might cut this in half so that it has that like edge. I'm going to do that. Let's do that. That way I can add the other piece. I can add the other piece in here. So I'm going to use some of the, what is that called? I can never think of words. It is lace. I'm going to use the lace and create the outside decoration part. And then I've got this thing coming from Tim Holtz. It's technically from a Cherry on Top, that are wax seal labels that I believe are potentially metal. So I'm going to add that on top of the pieces so that it looks as though it's like a sealed, almost like a sealed letter. And this will go in the pocket. So it's kind of wild. We're gonna go wild here. So what I want to do is put this on here. All right, so this is gonna go directly across the center to give it that real, like, Victorian looking, I don't know, witchy vibe, I suppose. So that's gonna go in the middle here. And then the seal will go on top. But the other thing I wanted to do was add some twine. And I got to think about this. So if you are down, I suppose if you're slipping out, right, that it just needs to be what I need to do is stitch my ribbon or my twine to about 1/3 of the way, or 2/3 of the way. So, or actually I might be able to just tie this on. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna tie it on. So this can go in the middle. And then when this folds, sorry, it just takes me a minute to like figure out construction here. When this folds, when I get my Tim Holtz seal, I'm going to put it on the ribbon part so that that just stays on there. Okay. Okay, let's do that. So I wish I had pins. I don't have pins, like sewing pins. Actually, do I? Do I have some? Hold on. Hold the phone. Not really. I have safety pins, not sewing pins, but this could work too. These are not sewing pins, but that might work for holding it where I want it to be. So let's just like, is this gonna work? You're kind of thick. Ugh. Nope, I'm just gonna hold it with my hands. It'll be fine. Forget that. You're too complicated. Nope, nope, nope. And if it's crooked, whatever. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. That's gonna tie on to make it closed. I'll probably put the 10 maybe on it, possibly. All right, so this I'm gonna stitch, this I'm gonna stitch, and this I'm gonna stitch. Just this. Okay, I should put on there with one of the alligator clips. I just found a whole bunch of them and then put them in an undetermined spot. So we will grab you. You can come help me. Okay, so this is gonna go on here to sew. All right, let me grab my sewing machine. We'll get this done. I'm gonna need that. No caves for me. I'm claustrophobic. A ghost. No one could see me. That's awesome. Wait, what is this? Imagine all the shelves you would need if you were a vampire. Yes, and you'd have to live in a castle. Yes. Well, you would live long enough, Etienne, that you could. You totally could live in a castle, you know? It'd only take you, I don't even know. That would be a very interesting social experiment, is if you were a vampire, how long would it take you to build enough wealth to afford a castle? Now I'm curious. Because I feel like they all have castles. How long did that take them to get their castles? That's what I want to know. Because the other day Nora said to Robin, do you know why we have a cat? Because Mommy and me are witches. That's awesome. I love that. Like the ones in Charmed. Yes, Terry, I'm watching Charmed right now. It's so good. If you guys haven't seen Charmed, it's a really cute show. I like it. I'm watching the new one though. The new version of Charmed because I never watched the old one, and the new one, I don't know. So I'm watching the new one, but it is really cute. Okay, so I am going to do my thing. I'm going to stitch this together and it's going to be a little bit loud. So if loud noises are bothersome, you may want to turn your volume down. Just giving you fair warning here. All right, so let's go ahead and stitch this down. I'm using black thread. I have I get a lot of questions about like tension. My tension is at 3.5. and I'm using a medium length straight stitch, and that's it. That's all you need to know. Okay, here we go. Let's get this stitched on. Yeah, that's fine. And I honestly actually might do a zigzag, because I think that will hold this on here better now that I think about it. So I switch. I'm switching to a zigzag for this specific part. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this off, switch it back to not zigzag so that I don't forget later. And what was I at? C. Okay, so that gets my lace on there. I'm gonna cut that off. I use these. It's a cleaner cut. All right, so okay. All right, cut that part off. Cut this part off. This could also be a really fun, like place setting thing. So like if you were having some kind of witch themed house party, I think making like scrolls or something would be super cool. Okay, so this I'm also going to do black because I don't mind having a little bit of black around the edge of this. I think that will be fine. And then we'll go from there. Should I straight stitch it or zigzag it, actually? Because it could be kind of cool zigzagged, although this is all straight, so I'm thinking straight. I'll just do straight. I'll answer my own question. There we go. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to try to stay on this black outline. We'll see how that goes. And I want to make sure my lace is flat. Okay. Nope, one more. Nope, not one more. Okay. Lace is flat. Okay, and the last line. Okay, so there is that. Pretty darn good. A few little deviations, but for the most part, I'd say that's pretty good. And then around the outside, you can see the black stitch going around. So then this is going to fold, right? And then it looks kind of like a scroll. Super cool. Okay, so there's that. And then one last one is the pocket here. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go just inside of the zigzag lines so that hopefully the stitches won't get punched. So here we go. we go. Let's put this back. Now that we're done with that, and get this out of my way. Okay, so that turned out pretty good, I'd say, all around. Now, no, wrong card. Now this one, we just need to figure out the number, and that one, we just need to decorate the pocket. So let's trim you off. Yeah. And hole punch you again. I did get a little bit in there, so it will cut through some of the strings, but whatever, I guess it'll be okay. It'll still function. All right, let's put you down, down. Probably good enough. And this has all of these washi bits, so let's get that so they don't end up stuck in there again. Come on. Okay, that one's good. This one. Where did those go? There. Okay, so let's get that out. That out and that out. I think I got them all. No. There we go. Okay. There. Now I don't have washi stuck in my hole parts. Okay. So there's that. Pocket done. This part. Ugh, get off my mat. All right, so we've got the film strips for the movies. We've got, I think maybe I'll do this here for the fun of it. And then this one first. Okay. Then I just need to figure out the number. What do I want to do with that? Okay, so we've got that one, that one. Okay, so do I do the plastic one? It would have a little bit of twine on there, so you'd be able to see that there's a thing, kind of. Or do I make it more obvious? I'm almost thinking that, because when else am I ever going to use that? And he can go later. Or do I put him in here as a cute thing? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking this, especially since we're going right next to something spookier, that it makes a little bit more sense for this to be not really played up. So let's just do it. Let's see. Oh, hey, Beatrice. Yes, we are still here. Welcome. I know it's all the days for where I'm doing 2 at once tend to be on the longer side, it seems. Okay, so I'm going to put away the little ghosty guy in here, wherever his tray is. There it is. This I'll put away later. I can use it maybe in December Daily instead. And then, so that is story number 9. So let's go all the way to the back here. This is going to go back here for spooky movies, and then this will go in here. And see, that looks kind of cool side by side, having it not as like cartoony, I suppose is what I was going for. Okay, so now we've got this pocket, we've got this scroll. My thought was to potentially, so like let's pretend this is tied off. Let's just cut a big strand of this. Okay, so if we were to tie this off, and this will have one of those wax seal looking things later. Actually, I might just use black and white on this instead of the orange, but let's pretend for a minute, right? I could put my number. So I've got the little charm number that I could put on top of the scroll, which I'll do in black and white, not orange. Or I've got, I could, like, whatever, this can be good because it will have a seal. So we could do, like, I originally had like a witch's hat, this witch hair, or broom hair, don't care, and this I put a spell on you cluster that I could put down here. Or I could just have this have a number 10 on it. I'm almost liking the idea, but it will have something metal. So it is going to have something metal right here. I could do witch's brew. You know, what do I want to do? You know, this is going to go behind this. So when you flip it over, you'll still have kind of the creepier looking whatever there. I almost kind of like it with a cluster down here. Does that look dumb? What does that look like? Or do I just have a bonus charm hanging off? Do I just forget about the wax seal thing? You know, which isn't going to be here. I don't know when that's going to be here. You know, I think the orange is kind of throwing me. Let's take that back off. Get out of here. So no to orange. We'll save that for another time. Instead, I want black. So if we did the charm on there, I feel like a lot of times you just got to try things out until you find something that you like, you know? But trying is a good thing. Or testing. Testing out different ideas is always a really good idea when you're a tiny bit stumped. Ugh. Sometimes these things are really hard to string up here. Okay, let's shove that down in there. Get in there. Almost. Almost. This one. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's pull that through. With all this work, this might be just what I do. Since that just took me all of that to put it through. All right, so we can bring it more towards the middle. That would be number 10. Right, and then it could just like tie around and a bow. So like it's holding it all shut. And maybe down just a little bit on here. Okay. All right, so that is what that would look like. Oops. think that's kind of cool. I'm going to leave it like that, I think. And then we'll just put the 10 away. So let's add these clusters on here. And then that's going to be it for these. Haven't seen the new Charmed, just the old ones in reruns. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the old ones. I should watch those because I really do like the new ones. I watch it on Netflix is where I get my Charmed fix. But yeah, I need to look up the old ones for sure. That's the original, the OG. Okay. So this says Witch's Brew. This one says I put a spell on you. And this one says broom hair, don't care. So I'm just going to cluster those up. Throw them on top of this. Like so. This I'm going to... This is what we're going to do, but I want to get rid of some of the string that I ruined. So we'll put it a little further down. It's going around to the back, through to the front, tie it in a bow, and then I can trim off the excess. Which might be like right here. There's my pocket of scroll, which is really bulky, but that's okay. Millie, I think you were the one, I don't know if you're still here, you're the one that you're like, are you sure you're only going to fit this all in 2? You might need to get a 3rd one. I still refuse right now to entertain the idea of a 3rd album, but we are getting bulky because yes, I cannot. I started out the year like, oh, I'm going to do something really simple because we moved and all that stuff. But honestly, putting together these kind of layouts brings me a lot of joy. So I feel like that's the biggest, that's the reason why I can't help it, just because that is what makes me feel creative, gets the juices flowing. All right, so let's read through the stories. I'll share that with you, and then that's going to be it for today. And tomorrow is, I believe, the last twofer, and then we'll be totally caught up, which is going to feel really good. So I just want to clear some of this off real quick. It's not in my way. All of that. All of this, and then we'll read. Stuff for tomorrow. Okay, so we'll start with story number 9, which is the movies. So for the movie one, I said on my journaling, my story, it's on the back of these two. So I said, Halloween movies are a huge part of our October celebrations, and this year is no different. We have a long list of movies we would like to watch before the season ends. Some new ones, a few new to the kids but older to Aaron and I, and some that have been classics ever since we were all young. This year, I'm happy to say that Isabella is just as into the idea of watching tons of Halloween movies as I am. We've been playing the 31 Days of Halloween on Freeform and enjoying the variety of movies played there, making sure to only watch the developmentally appropriate shows for her. I was so surprised with how much Izzy enjoyed The Addams Family. It's a live-action movie, which usually loses her interest pretty fast. This time, though, she was sucked into the storyline and laughing along at all of the shenanigans with me. I'm so excited my girl is a spooky movie buff. While I love spooky movies, I do not love scary horror movies. Since Aaron does, I've made a deal with him that we could watch one scary movie every week throughout the month of October, and in return, he watches Christmas movies with me in December. Almost every year, he totally forgets about it and never suggests a movie to watch. So most years go by with me not having to get freaked out at all. We will see what happens this year. I may suggest one the very last week of October just to be nice. perhaps The Shining, which I've read the book already, so I think that it will make it not as scary for me to watch. So that is a little bit about movies. And then I'd Rather Be a Witch is this other one. So this is my scroll. Oh, I love it. It's so cool. It's so bulky. Okay, so this one opens up and here is my I'd Rather Be a Witch looking spell sheet. So this one says, ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to be a witch. I can remember back when I was in elementary school pretending to make up spells with one of my childhood friends. We thought that if we tried hard enough, we could become witches for sure. We practiced at school and in her bedroom, but nothing ever came of it. So eventually we gave up. I will always look back fondly on those days of making potions with the grass and flowers outside during recess and dreaming of all the things we could do if only we were witches. In middle school, I was introduced to Harry Potter for the first time. I instantly fell in love with the story and engulfed myself in all things Hogwarts. The idea of getting a letter as a child to invite me to a school of witchcraft was a dream, one that would sadly never come true for me. Nevertheless, I so enjoyed reading and dreaming about the magic inside of Hogwarts. As an adult, I would still choose to be a witch in a heartbeat. To have magic at my fingertips, to make things move with my mind, to experience the hidden wonders of the world, it all just seems so magically wonderful. Instead, I've resigned myself to continuing to love everything witchy, from the books and movies, to the brews and booze, to the hats and attire, and everything in between. So there we go. I'd rather be a witch. And this one does not have a photo, so it's just a no photo story with a creative way to add journaling. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for everyone for hanging out with me for this super long live today. It was a long one, wasn't it? Almost a little over 2 hours. Jeez. Anyway, but we got some really cool layouts out of this, so I hope that you enjoyed seeing everything come together. Tomorrow I'm going to be live at 11 in the daytime here. 11 a.m. Not 11. That's a lie. 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Not 11. 1 o'clock. And I will have Jonah with me, so potentially he'll probably just hang out in my room, so it's potentially like that you'll hear him, but it's whatever. I'm sure you're all fine with that. So we'll be back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. for anybody who can make it, and then the replay will be available after we are done. So I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday night, and I look forward to hanging out with you throughout the rest of the week. Have a great one, you guys. Bye, friends.